today we're looking at a couple of different ways that we can just decorate some jars from your house. So to take the label off your jar, a good tip is if you just fill your basin with really quite hot water, leave it in there for 5 minutes and the label will just come right off itself and you can just bin that. And give your jar a good clean before you start. And then the other thing I would say, we're using nail varnish to do this. It acts quite a lot like glass paint. So now the thing about nail varnish is it really doesn't come off with anything. I've completely ruined this bowl doing this. So try and use a bowl that you either just don't care about getting wrecked, or maybe cover it in cling film before you start. Again, with your hands, maybe wear rubber gloves or you'll be having nail varnish on your hands for a while. And yeah, so just any old nail varnishes that you have in the house, we're going to try and use these for marbling. So in my bowl, I've got some quite hot water, still not too hot, you can still put your hands in it. And then you just start by just going straight in with some nail varnish. So try using some different techniques. You can just do some drops into the water. Like so. And you can also try doing some like thin lines and bigger drops. Just try and vary the technique you use to put the nail varnish in the water, so you'll get a good design on your jar. So use that orange stripes. If you've got quite a glittery nail varnish, they work quite well in the jars. I've been using these quite a lot, so they're quite empty. A wee tip, if your nail varnishes are quite old or you've used them quite a lot, if you add a couple of drops of nail varnish remover, it should sort of make them a bit more liquid and a bit easier to come out. But if you're just patient, they usually do come out in the end. This one might be done. Okay, so we're getting something out now. You usually have to do more than one layer with your jars, so don't do too many colours or too thick into your water, because it won't work as well onto your jar. It will kind of just look a bit sloppy. So I'll do one more colour. Okay, so I've got good coverage in my water there, and now we'll start putting it on the jar. So if you keep your fingers inside the jar like that, and as I say, you'll probably be doing more than one layer, so one of the times you can go downwards in like that, and the next time you can go round, turn your jar round into it. And once you put your jar in, all the paint will immediately start to rise up to stick to it, so just be careful about how you're putting it in. I'll start this way. See, now I've got kind of a double layer there onto the jar, so it's a bit messy, and that's my fault for how I put it in. So just be careful about, as I say, about how you're putting it in, or layers of paint will flip over onto themselves. But it might be okay when it's dry. But you can see there, you start to get a good marbling effect. And if you want to have another go, use like an old stick or an old paintbrush. Again, the nail varnish won't come off. And you can use that to just circle in your water to collect any old nail varnish bits that you don't want on your second go. That will kind of pick them up. Or you can, if it's getting really quite full, you can just tip the water and start again. So these are some ones I made earlier with the marbling. Not sure how well you can see that. That was quite a good one. I've got some lighter colours in this one. This one I did from the bottom as well, so it's a bit messy on the bottom. But it did get me a better coverage, a bit more interesting when I started building up the layers. You can put candles in these, use them as candle holders, or you could fill them with soil, try growing some plants in them. You can also make them into hanging candles. So by putting some thread around like that, you can get yourself a nice handle. I'll show you how to do that now. Let's put this water aside. I'll do it on one of my dry jars. So in your last craft pack we gave you quite a lot of string. If you've got any of that left, that would be a really good choice for this. If it's quite thin, you can start by just pleating 3 threads together, quite long. You won't need quite a bit of it to make it safe on your jar. But pleating it will give you a thicker string to start with. And then just any old glue you've got lying around. I've got this Hobbycraft glue. And just start by putting a big dollop on the ridge. And you just need to be quite patient, so pop your string into the glue and then you need to hold it there for quite a while. Or just lie down, go away and do something else, come back to it. But just for the sake of this video, I'll just keep doing it now. You would start to wrap your string around. Try and hit the glue as many times as you can for a bit of safety. And then put another bit of glue where you're ending that. And again, hold that for a while. You can spread the glue over the string so that you're catching a good bit of it, and that'll dry see-through, so that won't matter. And if I'd left that to dry there, you could then make a loop here, choose how long you want it to be, and glue from the other side. Give that some time to dry. And then keep going around your jar with the string over your loop, and that will just give you a bit of extra strength. This isn't working well because I've not left it in time to dry. Keep it quite tight. And glue the end. So once that dries, that will give you a nice loop for your jar, and you can hang that on trees in the garden, and so you could use it as a hanging plant. So pop it up somewhere, get a nice hanging plant for it. Grow from seed if you're feeling adventurous. I'll put that to the side. So the marbling can be a little bit hit or miss, so you could also just treat the nail varnishes as regular glass paint. You can see here I've just used the actual brushes from the nail varnishes to do some little flowers on this one. Here's one I started earlier. You can do double layers. You can make quite nice intricate patterns with it. Can use a regular paintbrush, which is a bit easier, but you're likely to have to put that paintbrush in the bin afterwards because it really is difficult to get off of anything. And once you've built up a nice design, you can go back over it with some glittery nail varnish, add in some highlights, and really cover it as much as you like. So that's a more delicate version. With this one I did like big block colours, which is quite effective. And I painted around where the string's going to go to kind of hide it as a jar a little bit. This one I did have to do 2 or 3 coats to get that kind of finish. So obviously if you just do 1 coat, your light's going to shine through it better. But if you do more than 1 coat, you will get like a smoother finish. So that's a couple of different ways that you can decorate your jars that you've got lying around the house, just with some old nail varnish.